so much. Thanks, Jonathan, for the introduction. Thanks for all you do. Lauren, I know she's not here, but I thank her. This is my third Ubri. Ken Weber, thank you again. It's just a wonderful community. It's just wonderful to meet all of you, and thank you guys for making it all happen, okay? Really happy about that. So we have 15 minutes, so you're going to hear me speaking very, very quickly. I tend to get excited about what I'm doing. During the question and answer time, please ask questions, because maybe there was a part where I shifted into my local language tree, okay? 2025, okay? So if something doesn't make sense, maybe I'll speak in Ashanti, okay? So ask, all right. So in 20 minutes, let me begin. We have a problem, a real life problem. I'm going to tell you what that problem is. We also have a solution. The solution is going to involve blockchain. In some sense, as we had in the first talk today, one good thing about blockchain is integrity of data. And so if you have a problem in an area where integrity is important, then perhaps blockchain is the solution, okay? So basically what I'm going to tell you is a particular real-life problem. It's real people today, and we're going to show you a real-life solution. We've deployed, we're acting on it, and you're going to see real-life people benefiting from that, okay? So that's the talk today. All right, so the problem. African farmers, farmers work on small farms, very important in Africa, a huge number of farmers, huge amount of employment, high trading costs. Farmers find it very hard to meet traders, okay? Sometimes they produce, they're sitting on their farms, and nobody comes in to help them. Risks are high. Traders may come to buy but not pay back. And extreme poverty among farmers. And most importantly, lack of capital, okay? And we're going to be showing you some innovations, which without our innovations, some of these people would not be farming, okay? And so we come in, they farm, they go through the whole cycle. We're not in there, those subjects, if you will, in our experiment who don't get our treatment, don't get to farm. Cool. Aid usually doesn't work, markets are bad. Solution, we're going to use blockchain. Russia.
Okay, so given the audience here is mixed, I will also try to use sometimes blockchain geek language, sometimes not. But basically what we have done is we have, on top of XRP EVM sidechain, we have built basically our own currency, and we have built multiple apps, a farmer app, a vendor app, an admin app. We have basically 3 applications. And the ultimate aim for us is to devise a setup that will lead to market growth and basically implement the best interventions in the market that will lead these farmers to increase their productivity and their livelihood. And one note, I would like you actually to look at these photos. These are not stock photos. So any photo that you see in this presentation, this is not a stock photo from internet. These are taken in real field with real farmers. And you know, some of them actually leave tremendous, you can see on the faces of these people the impact that this has been making. So pay attention also on the people and on the photos. We have tried actually to make this not an econ paper talk, which to some extent is a goal, but also we want to show you the faces of people, and as this is a little bit of a different type of a conference and not an econ conference. So, how does our solution work? So this is basically a mobile serverless app, and instead of using some kind of Amazon Web Services, some servers, we are using XRP EVM. So instead of microservice architecture, we are using XRP EVM smart contracts. We are using basically everything that is there on a blockchain technology. We don't have a server. There is no web server involved here. You will see the app. App is a kind of a fat client in a sense, communicating directly to the blockchain. There is no web server in this story. Layer 2 currency that we have created has a purpose, because we want to keep a closed system. We don't want to give to farmers some coin that they could trade out and that could leak out the system. So you can think of it as a coupons, but coupons that we can control, we can give to people, and people can spend only on dedicated places, only in the shops that we onboard that sell them chemicals, tractor services, labor, etc., etc. You will see all the processes. We also have oracles. We have people that go and verify whether certain work has been completed. We have oracles that measure humidity of certain agricultural products. This is all recorded on a blockchain. Oracles look into the farms and map the farms, and then the area of the farms and GPS coordinates also is recorded on a blockchain. In the process, we also have exchanges, but we are kind of an exchange where vendors, after they have completed their services, they have got their currency, they can get money in the form of MOM. But we'll go step by step in the procedures that you understand all of it. And of course, we have to really take care of the privacy of the data involved. So high levels of encryption for some private data is being used, and but also we want to make some data public because we would like to build trust not only among the people that are trading on this system, but also within the academia, because this gives us also a timestamp of what we have exactly done. So if we would give the addresses and the keys to other researchers, they could actually replicate the results of our studies by accessing the data that is stored on a blockchain. And everybody can now say, okay, these guys have done it first. This is what has been done. This is what has been recorded. And authenticity of this data is stored. Nobody can go and create like fake transactions backwards to fit the results that they would like to obtain. All the data is there and available transparently.
All right, so now some details, and I'm going to watch the clock.
You have it here, yeah.
44, okay. And then we go until 55, right? So another 10 minutes.
You have here 22 minutes.
Where's the timer? Got it. 20. We have 22 minutes more. Oh, okay, all right. So I can relax now. Okay, all right. Okay, phew. So we are going to, no. We're going to a town called Kumau. Okay, that's where our experiment is going to be. This is in Ghana, in Africa. The yellow is the part of Ghana we're talking about. The land mass of our subject area, if you will, is 2% of the land mass of Ghana. And through various means, we actually are in charge of 2% of the land mass of Ghana in terms of giving out land contracts, etc. That's the area. Yellow is where we're working on. Orange is also our area, but it's a forest reserve. The place has a traditional ruler, so a king and a queen. So this is the traditional African system. This is not Accra. This is not Nairobi. This is rural Africa, okay? This is what the area looks like. It's very, in my mind, beautiful. A lot of land. It should be a breadbasket for the country, okay? It should be a place where lots and lots of maize, soya, and other crops are grown, okay? So the potential is massive. The reality is the opposite, okay? And so that's where we're coming in. We're trying to build some apps to rejuvenate this place. Okay, so we're going to tell you the life cycle of a farmer. So again, problem is these farmers, instead of creating a breadbasket, are extremely poor. Many of them have no money, okay? They can't even start the process. If they start the process, all the issues I mentioned earlier on, lack of traders, etc., it's all there, okay? This is the life cycle of a typical farmer. Farmer will do a number of things as you see there, okay? What we are going to do is to intervene in this life cycle of the farmer. We're going to begin the process by interviewing their local sub-chiefs of different villages. We find good farmers among them, so think of this as credit scoring, okay? So we get the good farmers, and then we're essentially going to be giving them credit in the form of a crypto coin, non-traded, Okay? It's non-traded because if it's traded, they could take the money and spend it on something else. We want everything to be in a closed system. Okay? So we begin the process that way. And so the life cycle of a farmer is, first of all, we choose the farmers. Farmer will need tractor services. They'll have to clear the land. Then we measure the land using an app that we've created. All you have to do with the app is to walk around your farm. And as you're walking around it, the GPS measurements are being recorded, and then we get the farm size on it. So we use that for measurement and cross-verification that these farmers can do what they say they're going to do. Farmers will need chemical inputs, weedicide, fertilizer, etc. They'll need labor for production. Okay? If they have a significantly sized farm, they'll have to get some people to help them clear the land. They'll have to harvest. They'll have to store the maize. We will have to verify that the maize is good maize. And the two key things, moisture content has to be dry. Otherwise, it will decay very quickly. And then there's a fungus called aflatoxin. We have to make sure that that is not there because aflatoxins are not good for human beings. Okay? So we check that. Maize grows. It's on a cob. Thresh it, meaning taking the small parts of the corn off the cob. Transport it to a warehouse. Maybe it needs extra drying once it gets to the warehouse. We store it. We have created a local village-level commodity exchange so that they can buy and sell the maize. Okay, so that's another app that we have. And then after they've sold the maize, they'll get cash, which then redeems the money they got at the very beginning. Okay, and then we go through another cycle. All right. So far, we've done 5 cycles of this. Ghana has 2 seasons per year, so we've gone through about 3 years of this process. Okay, and so now we have implemented the blockchain on that. Okay, so let me just tell you a picture. So this is the screening process. Okay, and again, these are real life farmers. That's me with my hat on in the middle there, and this is one of the villages, and these are people who are all on our system and on our apps. Okay, so this is the screening and credit scoring. Then the first step of the process, they're going to need tractors, okay? All right, to clear their land. That's the very, very start of the process. And on that note, maybe we switch to the app.
Yes. Can we switch to the app now? Okay, so this is the basic layout of our app, and this is live and in production, and when I click something, this records to XRP EVM sidechain, okay? So, for example, this is a farmer version of the app, okay? So a farmer needs to hire a tractor. He would click on a tractor service. There is currently close to this location, which I'm simulating on a phone, there is one tractor guy offering a service that we have onboarded on a system. So think of this app not only as something that ensures transactions are, completed. I mean, the other thing that the app provides is almost like a marketplace for farmers. It creates infrastructure for them because it's actually very not trivial to find a tractor service in some of these remote areas. So Volta is our currency because of River Volta, which basically is the most prominent geographical entity in this region, a beautiful one. And, a farmer wants to buy a tractor service. It costs 300 voltas per acre. I just click buy. I can say, for example, 4 acres. This will be 1,200 voltas. I can schedule a date. For example, let's say next week, Thursday. I would like a tractor to come at 2:51 p.m. and I can say request now. I click yes, and this waits for the vendor's approval. Now, vendor in his app will get a notification, actually just an event coming on the EVM. So we're using events, and this is just smart contracts. There is nothing but a smart contract behind it. They will get an event, they will get a notification, they will have a list of requests, and they will either accept it or reject it. They can, of course, negotiate also the time of delivery and stuff like that. Most of the features in the app, I will not going to go through all of the features of the app, but basically everything that you will see following in this presentation, from tractor services, buying chemical inputs. We have different kind of chemical inputs. These are weedicides. There are all kind of things. There are a couple of things that farmers need, but the same thing is here. Labor for weeding, harvest labor, threshing labor, transport, and a warehouse actually where they're going to be storing the goods. And you will see the photos of real people actually using all of this in the next slides. There will be some photos coming in, okay? So, like in any app, I sometimes feel, and as Yao and I tend to comment among ourselves, we never dreamt that as economists, we are going to be basically operating a warehouse or working as product managers in an IT company. Because at the end, here, what we need to do is to simplify to the level that everybody can use it, and we want to scale this up a lot. When Yao mentioned like 2 to 3% of landmass of Ghana, think about Ghana as actually quite large country. For European standards, Ghana is like 60% of Germany roughly. So it's a significant land mass that is being involved here and significant number of farmers. And our goal is actually to scale this up to 200,000 farmers. But in order to do that, we need to actually have very smooth processes where we will not get complaints. Where do I click? How do I click? And it's literally, we feel like we are product managers in the IT startup in Apple, optimizing clicking in the app. We never dreamed of this. Okay, this was not our dream job, but this is how it is at the moment. So could you switch back to the presentation?
Okay, 13 minutes. So what I'll do next is I'll continue, give you a bit more of the background. And again, as Rāsa said at the beginning, each of these pictures are our people. This is a real tractor. This is in a town called Drobon. So I know these individuals. They are working with our team and our staff, okay? There's nothing stock here, okay? So let's just go through it. So here's the person who is running around, walking around, measuring his farm. These are our apps that we created, and as he does that, it gets beamed to us, okay? Again, something that somehow or the other we connect with the blockchain and this person's profile. This is the land. There's the same person walking around the farm. These are some of the farms that we have of different farmers, okay? This is showing it on the app. This is a weedicide, and so behind here, so notice that the houses are thatched roof and mud, okay? These are the poorest of the poor farmers, okay? So the goal is to go to the very bottom in terms of the income distribution. These people live in mud huts with straw roofs, okay? All right, and so close to there is a vendor who sells these things. And so right outside of the vendor, the vendor has the app that Rāsa just mentioned, and that's the buying and selling through the vendor to the farmers, okay? Here are two happy farmers. This guy on the left, he calls me often. He's always needing something, okay? There they are. So this is labor for production. This is the production stage. And so they're weedicide, okay? To make sure that the weeds don't grow too quickly. More of that. Labor for production. You see how beautiful the land is and how flat it is? I mean, this should be like the Midwest of the United States or parts of Eastern Europe producing huge amounts of maize, but tiny output, really tiny output, okay? All right, so now the maize has grown a little bit, so now they have to harvest it.
Can I just jump in here with one thought? I mean, when you see this photo or the previous photo, I mean, what was probably the most shocking for me is when you compare this field to the fields that you can see in the United States or Europe. I mean, this is not less fertile ground that we have here. Not at all. I mean, ground is actually of a good quality. It's not, Saharan Africa. No, this is a fertile ground, and on top of it, they have 2 seasons. That have double the production that we have in Europe and in the United States. And actually, the productivity is probably less than 10% of what you can see in a field of the same size in Europe or in the United States. So one of our goals is actually also to increase the productivity to at least to approach the levels that we have here, if not even outpace them, because, I mean, we would love to have 2 seasons in Europe, but we don't. We have harsh winters.
So harvesting, you can see the women carrying the maize on their heads, okay, just to show you the technologies that are there. This is the local warehousing of the farmer. Okay, so on their farm, they create something very ramshackle, okay, and that's where they initially put their maize. This is the maize dried. This is full of maize now in this storage facility on the farm. This is the oracle. So he's one of our people. He goes into the farms and checks the moisture. You put some of the grains in this yellow thing, and the moisture content has to be 13% or less. Otherwise, it will go rotten and we won't accept it, okay?
Can I ask one question to the audience? Can you go one back?
All right.
One slide back.
So we got 8 minutes.
Yes,
though, okay?
just one slide back. Just one slide back. When somebody mentions Oracle on a blockchain, did you ever imagine to see this? But this is the reality when it kicks in. Sorry.
Good point. All right. So this is the threshing. So they put it in this machine to take the cobs out of the small part out of the big cob. This is a tractor, a car, flatbed, taking it from now the farm, okay, to our warehouse. So it's still the, so this is our warehouse, all right? And so we were doing some research, and the Minister of Agriculture, I spoke to the minister about the work we are doing, and he says, yeah, you guys are doing great work. Would you like a warehouse? And I said, gee, I'm an economics professor, not a warehouse manager, but sure. So he gave me a warehouse. I'm now the proud operator of a warehouse. Go figure, okay? So this is our warehouse where the farmers bring the maize in. Here, one of the farmers brought maize which wasn't dry enough, so we spread it on the floor so they could get dry, okay? So that's what's going on here. Some drying and some bagging. Drying and bagging. This is the outside of the warehouse. You can see me there. I may look happy there, but when you're running a warehouse, you're always tense because insects could come in, thieves could come in, and my PhD in economics didn't train me for these kind of problems, okay? So I was very nervous. All right. So this is on a different day, the warehouse again. Warehouse again. So now, the maize is in the warehouse, okay? So now we call in traders from all over Ghana, bring them to the village, and we tell them that we have a bunch of farmers who have maize to sell. So we organize a market, okay? Also app-based, all right? So those farmers on our system get to sell the maize, and so this is the our trading floor in the bush, all right? On the one side are all the buyers, on the other side are all the farmers, and you can see underneath them, seated on the left, maize. It will mention on that sheet there where the maize is, quality of the maize. There are 2 types of maize, white and yellow, okay? So all that information is on that.
And I would like to draw attention of a lady selling a maize and breastfeeding a baby.
Yeah. Okay, all of the trading takes place on an app, and again, all of the information will go on the blockchain, okay? And this is all the processing. Traders looking at the maize of the farmers and expecting it during trading day. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention too is, if I have the time for this. So I was telling you that there's very little credit there. The credit that is there is usually traders who give money to the farmers, okay? All right? And so that's the old system before we came in, All right, so we want to sort of like disrupt that system a little bit. But the interesting thing is most of the farmers are men, and they're complaining that the traders who give them credit are charging them too much. And what is really interesting is that most of the traders are women. And so the men farmers are complaining that the women are cheating them and oppressing them, and I just love it, okay? Wonderful. So that's that. Negotiation. So then after a sale, the trader will come to our warehouse, pick up the maize, and take it out. Once we have the money, then we extinguish the cryptocurrency that was given at the very beginning of the process, okay? Settlement sometimes, occasionally takes place in cash. And they're usually very, very happy when they're getting their money, as you can see from there, okay? Want to go?
Okay, so everything that you have seen in these stages basically happens on the app and is recorded on a blockchain. Every step, from GPS coordinates of every transaction to the GPS coordinates of the map to every transaction. So everything is there, from contracting VD side to contracting tractor services. So every step that Yao has described, we do it through the app. All the verification, and we do all kind of verification, from verification of the humidity content in maize to verification whether the tractor service provider actually provided the service. Somebody goes and checks it. And we are using XRP EVM for that. And if you have worked on other EVMs, you might know that the prices are much higher. And actually, test nets are a big issue, at least for us. That was a big, big issue. And I think that at least on XRP, testnet has worked very reliably, while if you try, say, Poly, Agroeli, and stuff like that for Ethereum, we have had actually quite bad experiences with that. We can go to the next slide.
Wrap up for Q&A.
Yeah, and basically, our goal is to scale up. We are optimizing every process, digitalizing everything. So moving, for example, cash out of the system. So all the vendors, when they want to cash out of the system from our currency, this is being transferred to them via Momo, mobile money, which is popular in Ghana instead of like M-Pesa in Kenya and other parts of Africa. And we'll need more warehouses in different regions. And our goal is to reach 200, 300,000 metric tons of maize a year, and to leave a big impact in this region, increase productivity, increase livelihood of the people involved. So thank you very much.